We live in a country that has become more of a divided community than a collective humanity. Some people in this country feel issues with the wealth gap. Some people in our country feel issues with their jobs, with the relationships, with the politics. Our country was supposed to be one country under God with liberty and justice for all. And we've slowly become this country that is almost like multiple countries, multiple parties, multiple divisions of group of people, partially under God. Some of us aren't even, really practicing that with liberty and justice seemingly for all, but practically it's been demonstrated as if it's not for all. It's only for a certain few. In this episode, we're going to dive into what does it look like to have a country that is together as a family, operating as one unit, and how can we move towards those steps today? This is the black and white truth on our country. All it takes is the courage to be ourselves unapologetically. The first noticeable aspect of our country is the wealth gap. As you can tell, you ever heard about the top 1%, top 2% of people hold more money than the bottom 90% and things of that nature? Well, it's actually very true. If we take the top 10% of all of the wealth earners in our country, they have way more than the bottom 90% income-wise. Now we look at this wealth gap. There's many things to blame. There's jobs to blame. There's so many things that people like to blame, politics and greed and all of that. But in reality, from what I observe, is that the wealth gap, our income gap, it's really a thinking gap. If you take time to meet people that are looking to create more money, but they're feeling like they're almost out of money, they're feeling desperate, they're feeling very poor, they're feeling very just out of their power, and then you interview the people that are quote unquote at the top, making most of the money, and talk to them, you may have a very different mindset on average. On average, it'd be a very different mindset. You see, the people that are creating a lot of the abundance in our country, they tend to think very differently than the people that want to do it, but they find themselves stuck. So what I believe is that we shouldn't invest all of our apples into figuring out why or how can we give people, little charities in here and there. I mean, charity does help, but we should spend more time empowering people that they have as much power, as much income potential as the person next to them that is creating more, if they want that. Understand that not everyone wants to be a multi-billionaire, trillionaire. A lot of people don't want that. But the ones that do want that tend to also want to make a huge impact on humanity. So for those that are looking at the wealth gap and shaking their arms like this is unfair, see it as you are a fully creative being and you have the full capacity, the full potential to create the same amount of abundance, if not more, in your own way. The wealth gap we have in our country is a thinking gap. Different thinkings. One book that's absolutely amazing to really check out is a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book allows people to understand that the way we can think to create the abundance in our lives, the financial abundance in our lives, it's totally accessible in a $15 book. Most of the secrets to really close that gap, to empower people to themselves, are books that are less than $20. So it's very, very accessible. So the people that are looking to close that gap more, focus on empowering all people, empowering the people. YouTube University, search engines, books. This is how we can close this. There'll come a day where almost everyone would be like, you know what? There's this job that is available, but I don't want to work this job, so I don't have to. Too many people have money telling them what to do rather than living their lives and telling their money what to do. And it all starts with our state of thinking. The closing of the wealth gap is just a closing of the thinking gap. And that thinking gap is really based in the fact that you're already abundant. You're already there. And what I discovered, because a lot of people say greed, what I discovered is that a lot of people that are quote unquote wealthy financially, they're some of the most nicest people. They're the most giving people. They're the most loving people. A lot of them I met actually want to help people. They actually want to help bring others up with them. But the problem is that a lot of people who are looking to create that abundance, but they're struggling, they see it as, I don't trust them. They see it as a scam. They see someone's out to get me. Skepticism is what keeps people on a little bit of a slower path than being open-minded and willing to explore it if it feels alignment with them. And then there's cynicism. And cynicism is just saying, oh, I don't want anything to do with this at all. This is completely stupid. So the first path, the first step to really embracing someone's true abundance and closing that gap as a country is open-mindedness and open-heartedness to take the help that is readily available. Because yes, we can identify that there are some malicious people out there. There are some people out there that's trying to, they're trying to penny pinch and screw people. Yeah, that exists, but you don't have to give that your focus. You don't have to give that your attention. If you come across it, say no, thank you, and align with something else that is more in alignment with abundance, because it is always out there. We are an abundant country. There's ample opportunity for everyone. The challenge is staying in this belief of this and always, always, always being willing to say no to what you don't prefer. The next thing to address within our country is our school system. Education is one of the most, it is arguably it is the most powerful, like, human power that we have, is to be able to educate ourselves. Our ability to grow as people is directly correlated with our ability to absorb new information into our mind and then implement that information into the marketplace, into our lives, and into all of our economy. Some of the things that I identify in our education system is I like it gives us a challenge, and the people that enjoy it, like doctors and lawyers, it really does a good job with helping people that know their specialized career they want to do out of college, out of high school, things of that nature. However, what about for the ones that are entrepreneurs? What about for the people that want to be more based on their own company, their own business? Our education system has more fact giving and information giving, but not much wisdom application, wisdom integration. There are children that learns multiplication and then algebra 2, trigonometry, but they still bully other people. They still haven't gotten the emotional development yet. I don't believe that information facts based learning should be prioritized over emotional wisdom. Our school systems could use a lot more focus on how to be a human being that is alignment with making a positive contribution to society. That's intellectually, that's emotionally, that's humanly. So many of our children spend so much time in school. Why not make that the perfect place to help them grow into phenomenal interpersonal people by teaching them the balance of wisdom, intellectual information, and things of that nature? There's many subjects that are offered. And what I'm saying here is that where is the subject of humanity? And a lot of our history tends to be from one perspective, our perspective. Our history can give all perspectives of the subject at hand. These are things that'll be very advantageous for our children, because our children can grow up and possibly run this country better than we did. We can give them what we've gotten so far, the black and white truth. We can give them that, what we've gotten so far, and then let them decide for themselves. Let them think for themselves on how should we progress our country? How should we move things forward? And kind of just give them a critical thinking classes. Where's the critical thinking in our schools? I believe that our school system has come very far. It has. However, there's now an opportunity right now to take it to the next level. If you know of a teacher who's been teaching for 10 plus, 20 plus years, they'll totally agree with the fact that our children, we're not really teaching children, we're teaching future adults. Treat them as future adults. And when we treat children as future adults, they grow into adults, not grown up children that were treated like, oh, you're below me, you're a child, I'm your elder. That doesn't really work. That's just using our title as a way to belittle a child. When in reality, our title is not there to tell the child how insignificant they are. Our title is there to empower the child to be, listen, I'm your leader because I'm here to teach you how to lead yourself and to lead others. This is what we get to create all within our school systems. Do not think of just our parents as, oh, that's just their family. What I'm gearing towards is our whole planet is a family. There's children out there that feel more, they probably feel more of a parental energy from their school, from their teachers. Our parents we can have many forms of parents, many forms of elders. When I was in third grade, I was actually with my mother and my brothers and sisters. We were homeless for a period of time. We were moving from place to place, from shelter to shelter. My third grade teacher, Mrs. Rowe, she found out about this. I don't know how, but she found out about this because I try my best to keep it a secret, but I guess word got out. And she came to the place I was staying at on Christmas Day. And on that Christmas morning, she walked in there and she had this bag and she bought me socks. She bought me hats and gloves because she knows we'll come to school in the wintertime, freezing cold, skinny jackets, big fur coats, giant hat, boots. It was a dream come true for us because for us, it was just survive and stand warm was a phenomenal, amazing gift. And we got a new backpack and some other cosmetic things in there as well. However, that act of that teacher, she transcended the role of teacher student to human being loving another human being. And our schools are the perfect place to do this, to envelop our kids with this love, with this understanding. Train kids to become adults. Don't train them to become good followers. Train them to become the leaders that they are. The guy who started the school system, he said, this is what he said. He said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. And that idea has transcended to the way our school system is set up. Now we can create a nation of thinkers and believers and achievers. Let's change our school system. Let's put more heart into it. Let's focus on it being the future of our humanity. The next aspect that can have a huge impact on our country is if we looked at our medical system. Our medical system, I believe that doctors, nurses, they're doing their best. They're doing absolutely amazing. However, overall as a system, there's more focus on the diseases and illnesses, but not as much on a true prevention. Our healthcare system has turned into a disease care system, spending most of our resources on the disease and the illness and not as much on true prevention. Eating organic, drinking more water, being holistic, our mental awareness, things of that nature. If we allocated our resources to be more on living a healthy life and how living a healthy life can be enjoyable, then we wouldn't have such hospitals that are so overflowed with so many people with so many different diseases that could have been easily prevented with just healthy living. Our medical care system should not only be based in hospitals. It should be based in all of our life. It should be based on TV, on our social media. It should be based in the courts. It should be based everywhere, should have an emphasis on living a healthy life. Mental health, emotional health, all of it plays a role. Also with our healthcare is we tend to feel that, oh, we only go off of what we researched. Since we researched it here in America, we can only trust it. Why not join forces with the healthcare and the hospitals across the planet, and it all helps each other. There's things that was learned in China that could be learned here in America. There's things that's learned here in America that could be learned in China, Europe to here, vice versa. And another thing, I believe that it's a real shame that when someone goes into the hospital with something sick or anything, the first question they're asked, what's your insurance? Do you have insurance? It's the financial comes first rather than, hey, how are you feeling? How has this been affecting you? There's countries that they don't pay anything. They don't pay anything for their health care in terms of going to the doctor and things of that nature. They found ways to make this work. And this has been an invitation for our country to adopt a model that is focused more on healing people rather than charging people. This is possible. This is where I feel that as a consciousness, as a collective society, we're headed towards. More people starting to think for themselves. More people are really getting frustrated with the medical bills. And I see a great overturning, really evolving of our healthcare, of our medical. I'm not saying we got to just eliminate the whole thing. I'm saying just improve it in a way that it truly can be affordable for everyone and also can be more focused on preventing things and empowering health, empowering mindset. I have a family member that was in a hospital, and he was in a hospital, and the food they gave him was very processed. He was in a hospital, and it was processed foods and things of that nature, high fructose corn syrup, all of these ingredients that we know are detrimental to our body. This is our opportunity to really shine in this category. Let's make the idea of the hospital, of healing people, let's make our consciousness as a society have that in our minds everywhere we go, in every household. Every household is a healing center. Everyone's empowered. Everyone knows about what they're putting into their body. Everyone knows how to live this way. Watch the episode, The Black and White Truth on Health, to go into more detail on this. Ask any doctor that's really been in the profession for a long time, and the nurses are the ones that are passionate. The nurses are the ones that are really, they're busting their butt. They're putting in the overtime hours. They're at it. Talk to the nurses. Our healthcare, our medical system can use a huge upgrade, and the time is now. Our politics have turned into groups of people attacking each other because of their beliefs. In truth, our politics is our spirituality demonstrated. We're separating ourselves. It is okay to have differing beliefs. It is okay to challenge each other. But I'm seeing it to the point where people are actually attacking each other, killing each other in some instances, separating, just isolating themselves. I don't believe that healthy politics really takes place in people attacking each other in terms of like doing the idea of doing harm unto others. In reality, the most evolved form of politics is humanity leading ourselves. When the people lead, the leaders always follow. There's a huge emphasis on voting rights and things of that nature, and that's all important. That makes sense. But however, have you put in 2 votes into your own life? Vote, what do you want your life to be? How do you want to live your life? Because the things that's happening outside of you and the economy and the government, that's like the weather that's around you. You can do what you can to make a little influence on it. You can make a ripple effect. Some people make huge ripple effects, which is all important. But you can make infinitely more impact on your own life. Live your life your way, and you won't be affected by the things that's outside of you. So many people use politics as a way to escape what's going on in their inner struggles, in their inner homes. But they use their beliefs that, the government did this to me. The big man did this to me. This happened to me. No, we're all responsible for our own lives. And we're responsible for the effects we create onto ourselves. We're responsible for the way we respond to the events that happen. The world exists the way the snowflake exists. And our response of it is what creates our reality. So I'm not saying that we just have to just completely do away with politics altogether. What I'm saying is that this is another opportunity for us to evolve it into the idea of this is just one humanity, one people, all together, growing together. Take the politic idea, the political idea, and turn it into an idea that says, I am my source of power. I am empowered. I align with people that's in alignment with my beliefs. However, if there's people that's not aligned with my beliefs, I don't have to attack them. I don't have to put them down or anything. I can honor them, hear their point out, because sometimes their perspective could evolve my perspective. Maybe we can all grow together. And truly we can become one people under God. There's a book called Conscious Evolution. This is a book that can really help set the framework of how we can evolve as a country. I'm not here to convince anyone to join anything, or I'm not here to convince anyone to do this the right way, wrong way. I'm here to get people to think. What are the improvements that we can make in our country? Before you go out and try to just change the whole country, what are the improvements that you can make in your own household? Your household, your family unit is a great place to start. Creating order in your house, creating unity there, and then evolving out to your community, your city, your state. And then next thing you know, everyone in the country is focused on helping each other and also empowering themselves as well. When I gave my first speech was actually against Donald Trump. And in that speech, I said to the crowd, I said, the way we make our country great again is by us loving each other the way we love ourselves. What if we change the idea of family to, this is my blood family, this is my cohesive unit of 20, 30 people, to everyone on this planet is my family. This is my earth family. And every morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to see what I can do for my neighbor. How can I help my neighbor? When everyone cares for their neighbor, everyone is cared for. When everyone gives, no one goes without anything. Everyone's fully supported. Be sure to give to yourself first. Give to yourself. Fill yourself up with love. And when you're overflowing with that love, overflowing with that power, then it overflows onto others. When a nation can do this as one cohesive unit, that's what you call a powerful country. I believe that this is what the founding fathers of our country wanted for all of us. They wanted liberty. They wanted freedom. And this freedom comes with the ability and the willingness to be fully authentic and see that right now, our country has a lot of improving to do on a humanity scale. And now is the perfect time to do it. Actually, I believe it's already beginning. If you're watching this video, you're feeling called to action, you're one of the few that's going to go out there and make that difference. You can choose that right now. That one of the few can evolve to one of the many. The time is now for us to take pride in our country and do away with the idea of separatism from all of the people and integrate the idea of we're all one big happy family. And this framework can be used from the United States of America to every country on our planet. Because from my perspective, the one nation under God can be just as easily said as one planet under God to soon, very soon, one universe with God. Because we're all in this with God. This has been the Black and White Truth on Televida. I'm Alan Little. See you soon.